Hello and welcome back to Down the Track. We'll be previewing the second one day between India and South Africa. We'll talk a bit about the first one day as well. I have with me my co-host Abraziz. Don, India under pressure now. One more loss and they will lose the series. A lot of pressure on new captain KL Rahul. I think if you saw the first one day, I felt that India started off really good in that chase, but just
Just
crumbled under
lost.
pressure. And yeah, the pitch did help South Africa. We knew that it was a dry pitch. They said it at the toss. But I think middle overs bowling and middle overs batting for India was very poor in that first one day.
Absolutely. I think the fact that they collapsed the way they did, they went too hard at it, and then this middle order has been such a problem from 2019 World Cup. Se baat kar rahe.
Yes.
We've been just doing this, and it's just not nothing has really improved, unfortunately. And now the fact that the top order, when it fails, even though to top order honestly didn't fail today, Virat and Shikhar got runs, but I think no one
Yeah,
was able to capitalize after that. I mean, you can't expect all three of them to keep scoring all the time, right? So KL unfortunately had a poor day, but Shikhar and Virat gave you a good platform, and it's up to these middle order batsmen to really
exactly.
finish it off after that. It wasn't a bad situation. It was a runner ball. Just knock it around 50 over games. You don't have to go as hard as someone like a Rishabh Pant or a Shreyas Iyer went. And Shreyas Iyer, we've been talking about the short ball problem for I think 5 years now, and the same problem is persisting. It's unfortunate, and we spoke about this in the first test match, first one day before the preview as well. If Shreyas is susceptible to the short ball, you have to play Surya Kumar because I think he's a little bit more classier and I think he can manage it a little bit better. So that's been opened up. There's a lot of issues. Why was Venkatesh Iyer not bowled? Why did they use him with the ball at all? You brought him in for that matter for that reason to use him with the ball, and then you don't use him. So there were a few things that didn't go in India's favor. But with that being said, I still think that they should have gone on to win that game. It was an unfortunate collapse, and these are the collapse that will start really worrying India
Yeah, I think
for sure.
the toss had an advantage in this game, but India nullified that with the way they started off with Shikhar Dhawan and Virat Kohli. And normally in those positions, Kohli himself takes the game till the end. Like
Yeah,
he's done it
yeah,
before in these kind of conditions when the toss goes against them in day night conditions when it's very difficult to chase under lights. This time it was during the day,
yeah,
and Virat Kohli's done it under lights as well. So I think chased under lights.
yeah.
So I think it goes to show like the form that he's in, the form that not the form, I would just say the mindset that the team is in. Because honestly, Virat Kohli was playing so well, and then he plays a sweep shot that he rarely plays, and he got out. Shikhar Dhawan, fine, he got off to a good ball, but again, kind of loose over there. And also.
Absolutely.
Also, just wanted to mention in the field. Also, it looked kind of off. Virat Kohli not the same, to be very honest with you, from what I saw. And honestly, I think I don't know what happened, but the cameraman wasn't really focusing on Virat Kohli. I don't know whether it's instruction from Super Sport or from BCCI or what it is, but I couldn't really focus on him. I just noticed that when there was a wicket, he celebrated with the bowler, but apart from that, couldn't really see much of him. And KL Rahul as well. Didn't look as proactive, but then again, it's you're as good as your team. The team also did not perform in certain situations. The bowling, I think Chahal let them down. You wanted to see a better performance from him there. But if you look at South Africa, Van der Dusen, the guy you named, I think, as a player to watch out
Yeah,
for,
yeah.
unbelievable innings along with Bavuma, the captain, standing up. There's a trend now with South African captains, which is a bit not. It's a bit different to the past where they're actually maybe not the most talented, but they're very gutsy.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Bauma had a very important innings. I think especially when they lost their openers cheaply to rebuild and to get to that almost 296 score was very very important. I think for South Africa, and I think both Babuma and Rusi were very good. At the halfway stage, you felt like it might have been an at par score because yes, the pitch is dry, but at the same time India has the batting to be able to match up to that. And then you saw with the start that they had a brilliant start with Shikhar and Virat going literally 4, 5, 6 runs per over, making it look like very simple. And you cut to like an hour later, suddenly a few wickets fall, and then there's nothing. The likes of Pant, Iyer, no one was able to do that. That number 7 is an issue again. Ashwin and Shardul, even though Shardul scored a 50, I still think that if he would have been supported a little bit more, I think that this game was still up for grabs. So yes, I completely agree that South Africa batting, bowling, fielding, they were the better side, and that's why they ended up winning.
Yeah, and I have to say I'm very aggressive with you at sometimes when you have specific agendas, and I criticize your agendas. But I have to say that this time there was no Pujara and Rahane, so you can't really blame them. And you were spot on also with this year. You've been talking about the short ball. I think you're one of the few people who has said actually, like, it's good to have common like sensible friends like you. I say over the top statements even if I don't mean them, but like I think it is a very very big problem because if he wants to be the next Pujare and Rahane, then forget it. India wouldn't forget 2-0, 2-1. They might have not even won. They might have lost 3-0 also. Like, if he's gonna be that susceptible to the short ball, so that's something that he really has
And
to work
it's because the amount of data that we have in this day and age, it's almost it's more, like even it's just so alarmingly like in front of you that everyone's going to try it, and
on.
almost every single team, even if you take some of the minnow teams, they will have the kind of pace bowler who can fast bowler who can come and
Exactly.
put it up to your shoulder, and if you can't fix that, then you have a problem. And then you could very well try. I mean, you don't get me wrong. On a flat track, I think Shreyas Iyer is one of the most beautiful stroke players ever, and we saw in the New Zealand game as well, New Zealand series as well. When the pitch is assisting batsman, I think he went out, scored a century and then a half century. He's a phenomenal batsman, but he's a I don't want to take the name flat track bully. I don't think he's a flat track bully per se. But at the
But he
same
has a
time, I think
specific
that
weakness.
he has a
I
weakness
think
that
he
he
needs to
needs to
pick up the
fix.
phone. He needs to pick up the phone, speak to Suresh Raina because Raina had a clear weakness till this day. He has that weakness, but he somehow managed to.
Managed.
Yeah, he managed. Like in other conditions, also used to come and score runs, right?
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
think they'll have to have some discussion there. But if you just look at this second one day, it's in the same conditions, same ground.
yeah.
Again, batting first will probably be the advantage. But how do you see this game going? Because clearly you can still bat second. It's not like, oh, you lose the toss and you lose the game.
I think one of the rare times we've been talking a lot about the significance of tosses in the recent past, but I think this is a situation where it's not as bad as some of the other situations that we've had in terms of the ground and stuff like that, and the
Yeah.
fact that they are day matches, the dew and all of that stuff also is kind of negated. So definitely, I don't think the toss is significant, but at this point in time, when the toss is as insignificant, I think posting a good score always has that challenge that, as we saw, that India struggled once they lost a few wickets. Maybe bat first and try to score as many as you can over that 300 mark, close to that at least, to give that to have that pressure while so for the chasing team. So that would probably be ideal. The pitches are not going to get faster. Obviously, they're going to get slower. So the spinners will come into play a little bit more. I felt like Maharaj and Shamsi were a little bit better than Ashwin and Chahal, I think, because
Especially after that Dhawan wicket, I think.
exactly. I think especially after that third wicket, but when you saw in the middle when nothing was happening, I think they were at it, which was nice to see. They were not
Yeah.
like the shoulders didn't drop ever. Like even though they had a good partnership, when Shikhar and Virat were having a good partnership, the shoulders never dropped, which
Yeah.
was nice to see. And then Maharaj comes back and takes the wicket of Shikhar. Virat makes us, like you said, a sweep shot that we don't expect him to play, and those errors happened, and that's the beauty of 50 over cricket. You still are always in the game, even if you've lost like a session
Yeah.
of about 10-15 overs that you haven't been as dominant. So that's nice to see that this young uh, underdog kind of South African side is making Indian cricket think, and a lot of thinking now for KL Rahul and Rahul Dravid.
Yeah, 100%. And I think these pitches, you mentioned Venkatesh Iyer not bowling, it's kind of a criminal because you saw how Flatlukeo, how he bowled. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I've struggled with his name, but yeah, the way he bowled, he picked up 2 wickets just by taking pace off the ball. So I think you have to try out bowlers like that. And when you do have the sixth option, why not use it? And I think assessing the conditions quickly will be important. But a lot of pressure on India because, again, there's no Rabada and Nokia in this series. So there will be questions asked of India if they do lose this series. How are you seeing this game going?
I think they'll win tomorrow, and then it'll be a tight one on Sunday when that
On Sunday.
happens. Yeah, I think
Hopefully,
they'll
I
win
think
tomorrow.
I think for everyone, not yeah.
One, sorry, I didn't mean to break you off, but one point I
Mm,
think that we have to, before we close it, I think we'll have to talk about the fact that Shikhar Dhawan, every time he's been called upon, he's been performing. You have
yeah,
to give him credit. Yes, he should have continued, gone on to win the game for India, but I think
I
with the way he's been performing, you saw in the Sri Lanka store when this kind of the B team went there,
yeah.
he went and performed over there. And now again today also 79 runs, sorry, yesterday also 79 runs, which is a good score to have as well. Yes, I agree that he should have taken more responsibility after getting stuck in. But sometimes you have to expect some of the others also to step in, and step up and get that. And even before that, there's a lot of talk about him probably not even making the World Cup side and stuff like that. But I think in 50 overs, I still think that he's a very, very potent weapon. I think they should consider him until the next year's World Cup at least.
Yeah, also, the fact that he hasn't played for India for so long, like it's been a while. India have been playing
Yeah,
cricket.
yeah,
He didn't play in the T20 World Cup either. So I think
correct.
the fact that he's coming back after a while and to score a 70 like that, that's why I didn't honestly criticize his dismissal. I didn't find it. That thing with Virat Kohli, it was more critical because he was playing really well, and the sweep shot is not a shot that he plays. So I was surprised with that. With Shikhar Dhawan, I think he's making a comeback into the team, and again, like you said, he's scoring runs fluently. I don't know how he does it, to be honest. And the way he pierces the gap, I don't think there's too many in the world cricket who does that.
Beautiful.
That's why he's also very effective, even in ICC events when the pressure is on. The bowler does earn a bit in line length, and as soon as you earn in line length, he's on you and he
Yeah,
pierces
yeah.
because
And
it's
even if
not.
the thing I've noticed about Shikhar is if he can't get away the boundaries, he'll still do single doubles. He
You
knows
do
how
single
to.
double, and that's
Yeah,
the thing, right? It's not about playing those dominating shots where not Virat Kohli, sorry, Rohit Sharma and KL Rahul in particular. You see them play those aggressive shots. He doesn't need to. He can just have those nurdles and those guides like pass to the third man for four, and like he
yeah.
plays those kind of shots, and his timing is impeccable actually, and that really helps him. So I don't know how he's still doing it. To be very honest with you, I didn't see him in the scheme of things for the T20 or the 23 World Cup, 50 over World Cup. But if he keeps playing like this, then he's knocking on the door. And I don't think many people can stop him. But I think that wraps it up in terms of the review. Just very quickly, news from the Under 19 World Cup is that Pakistan have beaten Afghanistan. Afghanistan, a few runouts have cost them the game. It was a
Good
really good
fielding
game.
by Pakistan.
Very good fielding from Pakistan and some good bowling as well. I felt it was a really good game, but I think those two runouts, honestly, one amazing direct throw and the other one was just a panic run. And I think that's where Afghanistan lost it. They fought till the end, but middle overs, you need to keep wickets in hand to accelerate in the end. They didn't do that. And Pakistan built really good pressure with the ball. And the Legends game, Yusuf Pathan smashing it, Irfan Pathan smashing it. Really good to see the Legends.
The ball that Irfan Pathan got to Mohammad Yusuf
Yeah.
was a blast from the
Took
past.
you back to the hat trick he took in
I think I
Pakistan.
read that on Twitter also. So
Yeah.
it's beautiful to see that he was able to do that and just get that in swinger going again. And yeah, nice to see that.
And Shoaib Akhtar is bowling completely opposite, like the way he used to. Like I mean, and it's equally effective. Like the ball's not coming onto the bat; it's so slow, but they're not being able to hit him.
Yeah,
It's completely
it's
the
era.
opposite. Still, Shoaib Akhtar. Like he has that reputation that even Yusuf Pathan was so surprised. How is he bowling? So I can't even clear it. Whether he bowls slow or fast, Shoaib Akhtar is Shoaib Akhtar. He has that knack of picking up wickets. But
Absolutely.
yeah, that's also a fun tournament just to have on the side. And yeah, I think the focus will be now on the second ODI. Also, Australia, the women continuing the trend of beating England.
Ashes.
Yeah, the T20 game. But man, then Lanning is. I don't know whether she's Ricky Ponting or Steve Smith.
Apparently, she doesn't
Hey,
have an average because she hasn't been dismissed yet, or something
that's
like
the
that.
McGrath. That's the other
Oh,
one.
Magra. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
McGrath also, this is a new McGrath picking up wickets and also scoring 50s. It's a different type of McGrath.
It's like an upgrade on the Glenn McGrath that we know.
Yeah, it's insane. I watched that game and I was very impressed with the way McGrath played and the way Landing as well. Australia in general, very dominant, man, against
Yeah,
England in any
yeah, true.
format, any gender. I think they played really well. I felt England batted well, but Australia, I think. But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up. We still have the second ODI to look forward to. We have the under 19 World Cup to look forward to, and hopefully tomorrow we'll have the IPL teams also announced in terms of retentions, not
Officially, yeah.
officially the retentions will be announced. So yeah, a lot of discussion up ahead, but thank you so much for joining me, Don, and enjoy the game tomorrow, and hopefully we get to see a decider and a good close game as well.
Yeah, sounds good. Looking forward to it, man.
Thanks, mate.
Take care.
Take care.